Hello Internet, welcome back to our Apartment Rat series. Some things have changed in between episodes. We'll talk about them when we go out to our vehicle. For now, why don't we go down and look at the vehicle straight away. So I took some time between episodes to do some things. Mostly it was stuff that just would be boring to watch, so I figured you didn't want to see every single thing that I did. Basically, I went through, first off, first off, I was pulling frames off of this vehicle and then butchering the frames for lumps of steel. And then I used the lumps of steel to make hard plating. It takes a lot of lumps and it takes a really long time because you have to take the frame off the vehicle, butcher the frame, which takes like 40 minutes. And then that's not even enough for one hard plating. It actually takes 2 frames worth of lumps of steel in order to make one hard plating. And then the hard plating itself takes time. Lots of swapping for the welder. Very, very annoying to swap the batteries constantly. But basically we put a heavy steel ram on the front of our vehicle. This was made of heavy plating. Additionally, I plated the front few tiles of our vehicle with hard plating. I don't fully understand what hard plating does. I think it just gets damaged before any other component on that particular tile. So because I had some extra, I should have swapped these out for heavy frames, but I didn't feel like taking everything apart. So I just hard plated them. And then on some of our key components, like I should have put one on the charging station, but I put them on the kitchen unit, on the cargo space where we will store our welder and things, and then on our bed as well. And it said I had repaired everything on this vehicle, but it's obvious that I didn't do that. I wonder if I didn't save, because the other thing that I did was go through and repair every single thing on the vehicle, is what I thought I did, but it's obvious now that I'm looking at it that that's not true. So that's unfortunate. I don't think you can repair in the dark. Too dark to see what you're doing. That's fine. Thought I repaired every tile, so that's a little irritating. That actually took me several in-game days. So in between, we had some soy milk and fruit juices and things, so I was drinking them before they went bad. And I was eating pretty much whatever was handy. Now, this kind of has become an issue because we don't really have substantial food. Everything you're seeing in blue here is basically snack foods, except for the dry pasta and the dehydrated food bits here. Everything else is just snack foods. And then we have a pretty decent supply of canned food, but it's really not as much as you might think. And this is probably because we haven't been looting regular old houses. Like, we looted the apartment building when we started this character, but that's literally like the main source of food that we found in the early game. Everything else that we found has been just the occasional pop in a restaurant or a pizza parlor or whatever. There's really not that much. We just didn't get as much food as you might think we would have. And so also during the break, I read the swimming book. I also read the submachine gun book a little bit, just because we're kind of out of books that are useful. Another thing I wanted to point out is that we do not have access to the vehicle welding rig or the vehicle forge. I was going to put both of them in. The problem is the only book with those recipes is the electronic circuit theory book, I believe. And if we look here, you'll see these recipes are in brown. Even though we have the skills required to make these items, we don't have the skill required to learn the recipe from this book. So these require an 8 in mechanics, and we only have a 7 in mechanics, which we also grinded off camera because we were at 6. Unfortunately, we no longer have recipes that can raise our skill. The only recipe we can use to raise our skill to 8 would be the muzzle brake recipe, which requires a gunsmith repair kit, which for some reason is not craftable. You would think that a repair kit would just be an assortment of tools and things that we would be able to make ourselves. But we can't, so I don't know where you get that. I don't think I've ever seen that item in the game. And was a little irritated that it was locked behind something that I can't craft, despite having every tool I would ever need and a forge. So that was a little frustrating, but it is what it is. You know, we don't have it. We don't have it. And the reason I did all of those things off camera is because, honestly, I'm so tired of being... I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of us being at the base all the time. I want to head out, and I knew that we still would have had 2 or 3 episodes worth of building our vehicle up before we could leave, so I thought I would just do it off camera, and then we can just move on, because honestly, there's nothing left in this town that's super interesting to me. If I were smart, I'd probably hit these banks and break into the vaults, but we don't have any way of... we can get into the vaults because we have the jackhammer and things, but we don't have a stethoscope for cracking the vault. Can we make a stethoscope? Maybe I spelled it wrong. Scope? No. And we haven't really been anywhere or seen anything that would let us, you know, get a stethoscope. So I think we're just going to move on to another town. We're going to leave this as our base. We're not going to just abandon the base or anything, but we're going to take most of the supplies we would need with us, and then we're going to be out for, you know, probably the foreseeable future. And then once we've secured quite a lot, once we have a van full of stuff, then we'll come back to our base and reassess. Or if we need the forge for some reason, that kind of thing, we'll come back to base. But so right now, it's the first episode of the day. You know, if you watch the channel, you probably know that I'm not very good the first episode of the day. So what we're going to do, we're going to focus on carrying stuff out to our vehicle, and we were just going to make some conversation while I get warmed up for the day. You know, it's very hot. I have a headache. I just kind of want to ease into it today. So we're going to be bringing a lot of supplies down here for us to take with us. If I were smart, I would put this telescopic crane on a folding frame so that we could take that with us as well. But probably not going to do that because that's more vehicle work. So I think we're going to drop our vehicle stuff on this spot. And we're going to... you know, I didn't really think about how to lay this out in the back of this vehicle, but we'll figure it out. I think right now we just want to kind of sort through what we want to take with us. So I think basically we want to take all of the books in case we need to craft while we're on the road. They have lots of recipes in them. We're going to take a healthy supply of water, and we're going to take some decent non-perishable food as well as some perishable food, and then ammunition and basic tools that we would need. We're probably going to take our pot. We're probably going to take a sewing kit, that kind of stuff, so that we have access to any tools we would need on the road. Thankfully, we have the toolbox, which is most of what we would need. But we will take some additional things like the sewing kit, maybe a soldering iron. Everything else we can source out in the world. Like, we're not going to take a huge supply of food because, honestly, food is everywhere, and we'll just loot as we go. But for now, we want to carry pretty much all the books with us. Trying to think of an easy way to haul all this stuff downstairs. I don't think there is an easy way. I think we will move all of the... See, it's doing that thing again where it won't... Okay. That's not what I want. I want the books. Why are the books not showing up? South is a linoleum tile. Yeah, but there's a ton of stuff on there. I've had this issue before. If anyone in the comments, if you know why this is happening, because it has a freaking filter. It doesn't clear your filter. I hate that. I hate that so much. I don't know why it doesn't clear your filter every time you go to a new... It doesn't matter. Anyway, we're going to haul all the books, I think. and then we'll just advanced inventory everything that's not a book. So this pile should be all books. We actually didn't need every book to come with us, but we're just going to take them anyway. It's good to have something to read in case of being trapped in the vehicle or anything like that, or in a location where there's not much to do. But we're going to take these. You can't haul into vehicles. Super irritating. Alright, well, we'll just pick up as much as we can and move them in one pile at a time, which is pretty freaking tedious. We'll just put books here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Vormithrax. So if you don't know, Vormithrax is a YouTuber / Twitch streamer who does a lot of Cataclysm Let's Plays and a lot of Cataclysm content. He does a lot of tutorial content. And I wanted to give him a shout out because I know right now he is trying to become a Twitch partner, which has certain requirements for how long you have to be doing things, or how many. Specifically, he needs more viewers over the course of a 30-day period or something like that. And I wanted to point this out because I really like when I first picked up Cataclysm, I did not play it. I picked it up, I looked at it and was like, I really don't have time to devote to learning a new roguelike. Roguelikes tend to be pretty intensive on the learning curve. They tend to take a lot of effort to really learn the ins and outs of a roguelike. I played NetHack since I was like 6 years old. I've still never beaten NetHack just because of the sheer amount of information that you kind of have to memorize in order to be efficient. Like, you have to learn, like, okay, well, this is the price for this particular item, and I know based on this price that it's this item, and it probably has between this many charges, and it's like, I just never spent the time. So when I saw Cataclysm, I didn't know it had a tile set. I thought it was just ASCII, and I was like, nope, that's not for me, because I'm a little, a little pathetic when it comes to that stuff. I really prefer a tile set. Let's look at a vague amount of calories for this. This looks to be maybe 3,000 calories worth of food, plus the flour and cornmeal, which we could use to make additional food. I think that that's okay for just heading out, because we're gonna inevitably loot places that are gonna have a lot of food anyway. And then here the water is a real priority. Let's search for water. And we'll just take all of this and we'll make more if need be. Once we get down there and we look, actually let's look now. 7 of 12, so that's 22 portions of water. I would like one more thing of water, I think. Why don't we drop these and we'll go grab our water jug from outside and we'll fill some things up. And the only reason I came, I saw it and was like, man, I'm never going to learn this, so I'm just going to bail on it. And then maybe 6 or 8 months later, I saw it came up again, and I was like, maybe I ought to look on YouTube. At the time I was getting into YouTube, watching YouTube, and I thought, like, why don't we see if anyone's done like a beginner's guide? And I found Vormithrax. Vormithrax does a lot of tutorial content, and it's that simple. I watched his videos. I learned to play the game by watching him and by listening to him. And so for me, that's great. Like, the fact that he's put all this work into a tutorial content, the fact that I'm not the only one. Like, a lot of people have watched his content and learned to play this game because of his efforts, because of the work that he put in. So I respect that kind of a lot. He was one of the people that made me think I could do YouTube, because I would watch Vormithrax and I would watch Rycon, and I thought, those are two people that's the kind of content I want to make. I knew I wanted to play Cataclysm, and I knew I kind of wanted to do some roleplay stuff. So it was a natural fit for me to compare myself to those people. I mean, obviously they are a lot more, they're better at it than I am. But I'm new and whatever. So when I saw that he was trying to make this push to become a Twitch partner, I was like, okay, well, I'll go check out his streams. I don't really watch streaming. I prefer YouTube content. I also don't really watch Cataclysm content because I prefer to make Cataclysm content. But I went to his stream and I was checking it out. And so that's number one. I wanted to point this out because if you're at all a fan of Vormithrax, you should go and support him by watching on Twitch. I don't know off the top of my head what his twitch.tv thing is, but you can search for Vormithrax. He does Cataclysm content pretty much every day of the week. Or every day of the week, I don't know. So I wanted to offer my support in that regard a little bit. And also I wanted to say that, I watched like a half an hour of his stream the other night. Again, I don't really watch streams, so I came, for a little bit of support, and then I bailed when I started to get bored. No disrespect intended, I just have a short attention span. And I was watching, and I realized a couple of things about my own content. Number one, Vormithrax is better than I am at Cataclysm content, okay? He knows more about the game. He is a more, he plays a lot more than I do, so he puts out a lot more content. He's better at the game than I am. He knows the ins and outs of a lot of things way better than I do. And I also realized that, like, his speaking voice, the way that he speaks is much smoother and more appealing than the way I speak. My voice is often very hoarse. Like today, I'm feeling very, like, rough throat. I don't feel very well today, but I can feel it really in my throat. I feel raw and kind of rough. I was like, man, he has a better voice than me. He doesn't have to clear his throat every 5 minutes like I do. He doesn't stutter. I stutter sometimes. I repeat I start the same sentence 10 times before I actually get it out of my mouth. And it's like, man, this guy is better at talking than I am, But I also noticed that he doesn't really talk about himself at all. All his commentary seems to be about what is actually happening on the screen, which I think is mostly okay, but I think that gets a little boring. When I do my own content, I narrate what I'm doing and what I'm thinking in the game, but at the same time, I try really hard to tell lots of stories or, just talk about non-Cataclysm things while I play, because I think that it's more engaging to hear about someone's life or whatever, way more engaging to do that than it is to just say, okay, and we're going to pick this up. Okay, well, we're going to go over here. Well, we really don't want that soda. We really want this. Or, and I think that gets a little old. I'm looking at our gear because it's springtime, but it's getting warmer. And we're heading out, and I feel like because the zombies are evolving, we're not in a good position. I feel like we're still pretty weak. But the armored leather jacket and the turnout trousers are pretty good. So, and probably the best we're going to find until we get some, like, proper armor gear. I do wish we had armor leg guards, but I think we'll be okay. Torso encumbrance is very high. That's because we're wearing the rain hood or the raincoat. Are we wearing a helmet? I can never look at this menu and see what we've got going on. Firefighter helmet, helmet liner. Okay, so that's probably all we're going to need there. So let's look at tools. We need a sewing kit for sure. We'll take the one with thread. Can we reload it? You don't have anything. All right, let's butcher a rag real quick. Where are our rags? Is it this pile? No. This pile. Rag, 922. No, don't butcher the tourist map. We should look as well to see if we have any maps before we leave, just to get an idea of the surrounding area. Man, that took a long time. Let's reload this. Let's look for map. No results. I literally just saw, oh, it's a guide. Okay. Trail guide we'll grab. I could swear we picked up some maps, like proper maps, but I guess not. We will activate the trail guide, which is not going to give us anything really useful anyway. Thought there would be more here. That's alright. So we'll drop that. We don't need that. Tools. So we need the sewing kit. We also need... we're going to need some lighters because we don't really have one on our person. We're going to want a rubber hose. Shovel could be valuable. We're going to want the sledgehammer. Oh, that's up here. Grab the sledgehammer. We're going to want the electric jackhammer. And we're overweight. Let's see if we can go downstairs without dying of stamina loss. Yes, so I feel like I personally would rather watch my content than Vormithrax's content. And it's not meant as disrespect or anything like that. It's just I don't respond very well to, oh, let's do this. We're going to do this because this. You know, I respond more to personal stories and anecdotes, which I think I do more of. And also because I feel like, yeah, you know, he's a better talker than me. He speaks better than me. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of endearing to hear someone sound like an idiot, if that makes sense. And I sound like an idiot, and I think that that can be charming sometimes. Because I'm a very real individual. I'm very honest about my life, my feelings, you know, all that stuff that you've heard me talk about over the last, 30 some odd episodes. Anything else we need to take with us? We could take the axe for cutting down trees, but it's not really all that useful. Basic repair kit would have some value to take with us. Maybe a funnel. I don't think we need a funnel. Lockpicks I don't care about. We do need a jack. We'll take the bottle jack. Because that's what we require to fix our vehicle. I guess we could take the hand axe because why not? I don't know if we need the pot or not. We'll have to look when we go down to see if we need a pot to work on in order to use our tool, our kitchen thing. We'll take some strings, I guess. We need to take some solder with us, I think, just for emergencies. Where's the solder? Solder. 1 north. We'll take 200 solder just for emergencies in case we need to repair anything. And then we're going to take, I guess we'll take the 9mm because that's what we have. We'll also take the double-aught shot and we will pick up our shotgun. And we'll go. Yeah, I don't know weapon-wise. The 9mm really wasn't doing it for me. We need to start breaking in some places and getting like proper equipment, proper weapons. I would love to get a caseless weapon. I would love to get really something a little bit more impactful than a 9mm and a shotgun. Need to start hitting armory stuff. Need to start hitting lab stuff. Tools we put here. I don't know. I don't know what else we need. Let's try this thing real quick. Use the hot plate. Okay, so you don't need a pot for that. Is there anything else we need to take with us before we depart? And then comparing myself to Rycon is like just awful. Because Rycon makes really good roleplay content, which is what I wanted to make when I started this YouTube channel. One of my main goals was to do Cataclysm role plays. We're going to take 50 aspirin, We'll take some antibiotics just in case. Take a little Coke for emergencies. We'll take a first aid kit. Do we have any proper disinfectant? We need to take bandages too. I always forget about bandages. We'll take some Prozac. Where's the bandages? Take 5 bandages. We'll take some bottles of disinfectant. And then I think that's it. We hit all the main things that we need. So we should be ready to depart in the next episode. For now, you know, we're going to continue around the base and we're going to pick up emergency stuff. Or before we leave, we're going to eat till we're full, things like that. I'm a little hesitant to head out during the nighttime. Did I not install a seatbelt? No, I have a seatbelt. Don't want to head out during the nighttime just because it's so much harder to drive at night and avoid hitting things like rocks, because we're going to be traveling through the grass a lot, I think, because the town is just going to be so cluttered, and I don't really trust the ram on the front to protect our vehicle. I haven't really driven a vehicle in a couple months, so I'm a little nervous about that, but we'll be okay. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that we need. Why don't we eat? What time is it? It's 3 in the morning. I mean, we'll have a couple hours to kill, unfortunately, but that's okay. We'll just eat some cookies until we're pretty full. We took all of our water downstairs, so we'll drink some other stuff. And yeah, I don't know what else to do here. I think we could maybe... I thought maybe we needed to repair some of our stuff, but we don't. I don't know what else we would need to take with us. Maybe I'm dumb. There's probably something really obvious that I'm forgetting, but for now, kind of think that's it. I think we're about ready to head out. Maybe we will set out at nighttime. Yeah, I mean, comparing myself to Rykon hurts the most because I know he's probably the person who plays Cataclysm on the regular, who also has like the most viewers, the most fans, things like that. And I know that his content, you know, instead of going, oh, it leads nowhere. I was going to say, instead of traveling through the really packed town, in fact, looking at this map, this kind of sucks because we have to go through here to escape. There's no other way. You know, we'd have to take the roads. There's no open, like this is an open area we could drive through. The forest, not so much. Kind of have to take these main roads in order to get away from town. Yeah, there's really no good place here. I'm not sure why this map is revealed all the way up here. That's a bit peculiar. Why can't I see these things? Okay, well, whatever. I kind of wanted to head over here to this town. I'm a little worried about driving all the way across this road, though. I guess we'll find out. So we don't want to go this way. We want to go this way. We definitely need to turn on the headlights. Is there anything I'm forgetting? I should check my time. Oh, we're at like half an hour. Yeah, so I should call the episode. We'll continue in the next episode. We'll depart, and we're gonna head out. And really, we're mostly looking for like bookstores and libraries. We're gonna be trying to find some labs, but right now, just checking out that other town would be just fine by me. But we're gonna head out finally. After all that work on the vehicle, we're about to drive on our way. Hopefully, we don't hit hordes too much, and hopefully everything goes okay. So for now, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you in the next one.